captured cards typically require a PC, but the Easy Recorder 330 functions without a computer. Avermedia graciously sent over this capture card, but you may be wondering, how does it function without a computer? But let's talk about what's inside the box. Inside the box, of course, is the capture card itself. It's a sleek looking capture card, but honestly, I'm not too concerned with what capture cards look like. I'm just here to see if they perform well and if the footage that's recorded looks good. And this one is quite different from your typical capture card you plug into a computer. More on that later. The capture card itself features a number of different ports. The front features a headphone jack and a power switch, and the button is very clicky. The back features an IR port, AV port, 2 HDMIs, a LAN port, and a DC in port. And yes, the IR port is for the IR receiver, which in turn is used with the controller that it comes with. The device also features a USB port and a micro SD card slot, both of which can be used for footage. Now this right here is a power adapter. It uses a DC in barrel jack, which I kind of wish this was powered by USB-C, but I mean, it's okay, I guess. This is a device that's meant to be plugged in forever. Inside here are multiple different adapters for multiple different regions. You've got the US adapter, but you've also got adapters for multiple different countries, such as countries in the EU or countries in Asia even. Attaching the proper adapter is as easy as opening the package and then sliding it in. But fair warning, be sure to slide in the correct one because I haven't figured out how to detach it yet. Also included is an HDMI cable. It sounds like a no-brainer, but you can't even take this for granted anymore, so good thing they include an HDMI cable. Also included is this RCA converter. You plug this into your capture card and you plug in like an official PlayStation 1 and you should be good to go. Sadly though, I don't have any retro systems, so I can't really go over that. Maybe in the future. Also included is this IR receiver. It's an absolutely crucial part of the experience because you want to control it using the remote. In fact, you'll need to control it using their supplied remote. The remote is what makes this entire thing work. It controls the capture card's OSD. You can change the various settings using this control. And of course, most importantly, this controller has a record button, meaning you never have to go up there and touch the capture card to actually do anything. The controller itself uses regular old AAA batteries. And yes, batteries are included. So now let's talk about setting up the actual device itself. You cannot hook it up to your computer and record using OBS. So the best place to set it up, and you know, the current place I have it set up, is right under one of my TVs. The setup process is really simple. It's got a setup wizard and everything too. And if you do end up buying the device, I would recommend reading the manual. I think I might have neglected to tell you guys that there's an Ethernet port back here too, which is useful for one thing specifically, recording to your NAS. Also, when using this with the Steam Deck, you may have to disable automatically scale image and then scale the image down yourself due to overscan. The device records at 1080p 60 FPS. It can pass through 4K 60 FPS, but only if your device of choice supports it. The Steam Deck does support it, but you have to set the resolution yourself in this case. Otherwise, the deck will default to 1080p 60 FPS. Messing with the scaling options also introduces black bars, but of course, this can be fixed in post, so do keep that in mind. Also, by default, when you dock your Steam Deck, games will not render at 1080p or 4K. But if you want to run a game at native 4K or even 1080p, go to Properties, and then go to Game Resolution, and then change it to Native. Native has the game run at whatever resolution the display is at. In this case, I'm running this off of a 4K TV. In some cases though, you'll still need to change the resolution manually inside the game settings. But do keep in mind that the Steam Deck won't really run many games at 4K. Like Momodora, for example, doesn't really run that great at 4K. But it does pretty well at 1080p. Now for the big question. How does it perform? I would say it performs pretty well. I do have one major issue though, is that when I'm recording footage and there's no gameplay sounds or music going on, I can hear this weird static buzz. Listen. This buzz is only audible in recordings. You can't hear it when you're actually using the device. You can't even really hear it during gameplay either. But given a lot of people like to talk over their gameplay anyways, and also remove the game audio like I do when I make my videos, the static may be a non-issue for some people. Yes, I do think it can be a legitimate issue for some people though, so it is worth talking about. Another major caveat for some people is that you can't really hook it up to your computer and thus OBS. Yes, the device does have built-in streaming functionality. You can stream to YouTube, Twitch, or even Facebook, but I really wouldn't recommend it for streaming anyways. This capture card's best use case is recording, and that's exactly what I plan to do with it. You can also take screenshots too with the remote, even if you're recording. There's also a function for instant highlights, which I think is great for like clipping. As for what drives you can use, for USB drives, they recommend using SSDs, but it's limited to USB 2.0 speeds anyways. They recommend you format your drive using the exFAT format or the NTFS format. As for micro SD cards, they recommend using some pretty fast UHS-1 cards, the type of SD cards I recommend using with your Steam Deck anyways, such as your SanDisk Extremes, or one of those Samsung cards, or even that Sabrent SD card I reviewed earlier. As for SD card formats, it supports FAT32 and exFAT, but they recommend using exFAT. Now let's talk price. This capture card currently goes for $110 on Amazon. While I don't believe this device is for everyone, I do think there's a decent market out there for it, and it's actually a pretty decent price for what you get. You get a fully functioning capture system that doesn't require a computer. But if you're obviously someone that has a full-on streaming setup, like with overlays and all that cool stuff, then I don't think this capture card's for you. But if you're just the type of person that likes to record footage, you know, like me, then I think this capture card may be worth it for you. That said, it might be a hassle to have to constantly take your drives and SD cards and plug them into your computer to do some editing. But assume you properly have a NAS set up, like your NAS is accessible with all of your devices on your network, then it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. And I can confirm the NAS recordings are good. I've recorded quite a bit of footage using the NAS, and it's good stuff. It's also super convenient because I can keep the footage on my NAS and edit right off of my NAS, or I can copy it to my computer and just have it there in perpetuity. The only issue with setting up a NAS is that you have to type in your address, and typing on this device, on this remote, is just not intuitive whatsoever. And I don't think they support keyboards, so you can't like type it in with a keyboard. But other than that though, the NAS recordings are good and they're a godsend and they're super duper convenient. I don't have to play games off of an OBS window anymore. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.